They're leading the second largest fire and police departments in Illinois and breaking some glass ceilings along the way. WIFR morning anchor Mike Garrigan sits down with Rockford's police chief Carla and the fire chief Rebecca Tayo in an extensive and exclusive interview.
You know, we do pull strength from one another.
Rockford is in rare air when it comes to who's leading the police and fire departments.
I think there's a tremendous amount of responsibility to be representative of, women in this field.
I decided to take a closer look at the fire and police departments of the 200 most populated cities in the country, and I found that only 20 major cities have female police chiefs. Just 14 of the 200 largest cities have female fire chiefs. That includes nearby Madison, Wisconsin, and Chicago. But when I took a look at which major cities have both the police and fire departments led by women, I found just 3: Memphis, Tennessee, Tacoma, Washington, and Rockford, Illinois.
We're in male-dominated roles, and I'll tell you quite often, I was used to being the only female in the room, used to being the only African-American in the room, and you definitely have to be comfortable with who you are to be comfortable in those positions.
Carla grew up on Rockford's southwest side.
Never wanted to be a police officer. It was not on my radar.
That was until Red met a Rockford police recruiter who saw something in her.
I was working at McDonald's on North Main, and he would come in all the time and ask me, what are you going to do after high school?
After graduating from ISU, Red became a probation officer. That's when current police officers convinced her to test for the department.
My parents weren't elated with me becoming a police officer. Of course, I think probably part of the psyche was that's a male-dominated field.
But that changed when Carla passed her first test.
My mother, after I passed the first test, she was more excited than I was. And she was like, what do we have to do next?
During the interview to become an officer, Red stared at the current police chief who was in the room when one of the commissioners asked this question.
How far do you see yourself going on the police department? And without batting an eye, not making eye contact, I said, well, I want his job. And so the commissioners all erupted in the laughter. So it was full steam ahead from there.
Like Red, Rebecca Tayo also is a native of the Forest City.
Grew up south side of Rockford, that Seminary, 15th Ave, went to Christian life.
And she also never thought she'd be where she is today.
I've never even thought of being a firefighter. I didn't grow up with that inkling in my mind. That vision wasn't there. And
Tayo shined on the basketball court, scoring more than 2,000 points for the Eagles.
And that kind of took me to Western Illinois. I got a scholarship to play basketball there.
She became a player and assistant coach for Western, and not sure what to do with her master's in kinesiology. But Tayo's dad was a friend of a lieutenant with Rockford Fire and thought she should test for the department.
Best decision I ever made.
We want to focus on merit, not things like disparate impact theory and the whole sort of diversity, equity, and inclusion cult.
It's getting out of that, huh?
Yes, sir.
After being in that jungle for a long time.
The Trump administration has put a focus on increased scrutiny of what they call DEI hires. And several comments on Facebook following Tayo's promotion to fire chief suggested they believe Tayo's and Red's promotions were not earned.
What would you say, if you could, to those that claim, well, you guys are just DEI hires?
I'll be happy to take that.
Okay.
And I tell them to go back to the 1950s and 60s with that thought process. Does it sting a little bit when you don't have everyone who celebrates with you? Yeah, a little bit, but that's okay because you still have a job to do. I mean, there's no smoke and mirrors in there. You had to go in there and you had to know your stuff. So no one went in and handpicked Chief Tayo or myself. We had to show that we had the capability to do the job.
People are entitled to their opinion, and it doesn't bother me necessarily what those opinions are, especially if they're, hurtful or demeaning to a certain type of individual. And so I think you just manage those as they come, but they don't impede your progress.
And Red says progress on fighting violent crime is one of the developments she's most proud of since becoming chief.
It's such a relief to have the conversations. Now, it's not focused around gunshots, people getting shot, murders. It's the quality of life issues. Loudspeakers coming from the car. I got a stop sign complaint over here. The violent crime numbers are really down, and we can now start to focus on some of the other issues.
According to the latest stats, Rockford's violent crime rate has decreased by 12% from last year. Aggravated assaults are down 14%, shots fired are down 32%, and the number of murders has fallen from 20 in 2023 to 12 in 2025.
I tell the community all the time, where they go, "Oh, you're doing a great job." I said, "It's not me, it's the men and women that are out there day in and day out. You know, I'm just driving the ship, but they're the boots on the ground that get the work done."
As for Chief Tayo, she has 3 major goals to accomplish during her leadership: providing the best service possible, community outreach and recruitment, and the health and safety of firefighters.
If I can do that in my tenure, however long that I'm here, I will be very, very happy.
Rockford is one of several cities nationwide to take part in the 30 by 30 campaign. The goal is to have 30% of the police department be women by the year 2030. Right now it stands at about 18%. Red says they are not changing the standards to become a police officer, but just being more cognizant of recruiting in that demographic. Still ahead tonight.